We got there's the Yeti, and then we got the audio.
More.
Here, wait, say something.
Go on, get out of here.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Harry and the Hendersons quote. Yeah. So I'm Brian Barnett, and
I'm Chris Shriver. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do not have a Joshua Mobley this week.
We do not have a Joshua Mobley this week. However, next week, if all goes according to plan, we should double the current roster, and we'll have 4 people on. But we'll talk a bit more about that next week, assuming everything goes as planned. It should be a great episode for you guys. So as we started last week, we're going to continue our discussion and our countdown to episode 200 with our top 20 games of all time. We're going to do 5 more games from each of us this week. Even though Josh is not here, he has given us his list, so we will be discussing that. But we're going to leave that for later on in the show. Chris, would you like to start our week and our episode and our stream off with anything? Would you like to talk about anything, my very good friend?
So I have been obviously working on. Hello, John and Harry in the chat. Always good to have you, fellas.
Hey.
So I've been, I have this living room PC.
Wait a second, hold on. Before you continue, I hate to interrupt you so early. Are you wearing a blue sweatshirt?
Am I wearing a blue sweatshirt? No, it's a gray T-shirt.
Okay, it's gray. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, did we wear the same fucking color shirt?
Are you wearing blue?
Yeah, I'm wearing blue.
Oh, yours looks like I guess it is a blue.
It's
like a gray or a black.
It's navy.
Yeah, it's a dark navy. I could see it.
Hold on. I'm just gonna seduce the camera a little bit.
Oh my god,
right here.
What's happening?
I love this. I love this. Why is it moving? I love this. This is so comfortable. It's so thin, and it really, really breathes. It's very nice. It keeps me just the right amount of warm and cool at the same time. It's great.
Wow.
It's changed my life.
Wow.
My current plan is to get some long socks and some 3/4 like sweatpants, like tapered 3/4 sweatpants to split the difference between full pants and shorts. Full pajama pants, or what we call them soft pants in our house, are too hot for me, but shorts,
Are you trying to go full Hobbit?
I just get a little bit chilly.
Hold on.
I just get a little bit chilly there.
Hold on. Frodo, Lord of the Rings.
I'm gonna need to see this. You're gonna need to present this.
3/4 pants. I need
Dude,
All right, so this is a statue, but I'm still gonna
3/4 pants are amazing. So I used to have, when I was growing up, my mom actually bought me a pair of, they called them Judo pants, but I know that the female equivalent was capris.
Yes.
But these were they called them Judo pants, and they were by like Billabong or something. This is when I lived in California. We got them at like a Costco or something. And they were actually zip-offs also. So they zipped off from 3/4 pants to shorts. And there was actually a time, I can't believe I'm talking about this. There was a time after Final Fantasy X, after I played that, or while I was playing it, where I only zipped off one of them so that I could have the asymmetrical pant legs, just like Titus from Final Fantasy X.
So I just want to run through what you just said. So
yes.
You said 3/4 length pants, right?
3/4 length waterproof pants.
Okay, so I have 2 questions. At what point do pants go from being floods to being capris? Because I genuinely don't know the answer.
I don't know the answer. I think they were hesitant to call them capris because that was like a term that was used in women's
clothing. That was like a
clothing.
gendered term, right?
Yeah. And so they called them Judo pants because like you could ostensibly do martial arts in them. I didn't.
Okay. So What's
I have no idea what they're actually called. Like, they might actually be called
situation with this.
I think I wore high tops or something like that, or Chucks.
What year was this?
This was
like, I can't imagine this having been in style literally anywhere.
Maybe 95.
Oh man, you are
ancient.
Somewhere
between 95 and 2000.
Okay, so, and then what's the shirt?
Wait. Are we talking about what I'm trying to do now?
What you want? Like, what is your goal?
What I want is actually. Let me see if it has the label. Can you read this? It's Express. It's actually Express.
Okay.
Okay. So it's this Express. Very thin. It is a full length. On the sleeves. I just like pull them up a little bit. You know.
Okay.
Three quarters. You know.
No, but what?
But yeah.
Like, is this not it though? Like, you want this, but like
no, this is it.
Oh, this is
and
it.
I've also got a heather gray one of these. It's just so light. It's wonderful. It is. So this is. I think this is why. I think it's because fall is my favorite season, and we are now in fall in Texas. It was like 70 degrees something today.
Yeah.
We don't get much of fall, but growing up in California, like it's fall like all the time.
Yeah.
Especially in like Southern California. And so that's the weather that I love. You know, you wear something light. You wear, you've got a little bit of coverage. Yeah, it's sweater weather. And I try to keep it that temperature in the house. So I want this, and then I want to get like basically right now I'm wearing like some packed, like pajama shorts or like sweat shorts or something. But I want length. I want it to be below the knee. I want it to be like halfway up down my shin. And then I want to have like some lounge stuff. Right now I've got these. These are all birds. These are made from trees. It's very, very comfy.
Okay.
And so I just want to have like some light socks and some slippers on, something like that.
So other than being like the ultimate like millennial dad at this point, I will say you are but a cape and suspenders short of just being a hobbit. Sans the hairy feet.
What?
Like I've been going back and forth here on this.
You know
image.
what? I could do that.
Yeah, I mean it's a comfortable life.
11sies.
Yeah.
Luncheon.
Yeah.
Dinner, supper. I'm
Second
there.
breakfast.
Second breakfast.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat that much. I mean, I would love to, but I gotta not.
Yeah.
Because I would become 1,000 pounds.
My usual fall fit. It's been warmer today. It was like 80 today, which I hate.
It's the worst.
No, I hate it. Give me a good pair of like colored pants, like a wine colored pant, a nerdy t-shirt and a cardigan, and then some slip-on shoes.
Yeah.
Just like everything. It feels like it's like that American Apparel kind of like just very soft to the touch. Yeah, give it to me. That's what I live for. That's where I get my ultimate form is when I'm in that.
You know what's funny? I was just telling Audrey as I wore this the first day, I was like, you know what? I feel like I am approaching my final form, even though I've not yet obtained it. And then I told her this dream that I had for the 3/4 pants, and I was like, that will be my final form. And then I'll get like some soccer socks, like they go up all the way to the knee. Like some socks.
Yeah, this is where you need to stop it though, because
to be cozy, just to be so warm. Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, that's where you lose me, is when you get the soccer socks in there.
I'm ready. You don't like feeling like your legs are getting hugged?
I mean, I do, but
come on.
You know what my problem is? I have all my long socks are compression socks, and then that makes me feel like
I mean, I did that yesterday as well.
But then like the hair on your legs gets all weird. I don't need that. I will say
the hair on my socks wore off long ago from long socks.
There's a picture, I'm showing it now.
Or on my legs, the hair on my legs. Did I just say the hair on my socks?
The hair on your socks. This picture, this is the best I've ever felt, and you can tell because I look fantastic in this photo.
I can't see this photo.
There's my lovely wife or fiance. So, soon to be wife. So,
I need you to show me this thing.
I'm gonna drop it in the chat here. I'm gonna drop. Oh, spoilers. Spoilers for Josh's list. You go upload file. We go here. And we upload that. And then we go back here.
That's your custom fit?
That's Harry Potter weekend. It was a cool night. It was a warm day. But like it gets down to like that 60 degrees.
Hell yeah.
My wine-colored pants, my brown shoes on, my brown belt.
Hell yeah, that's exactly what I'm all about.
Fresh cut.
Now, I interrupted you like a mid-sentence talking about what you were getting up to this week.
You absolutely did.
I'm sorry about that, but I did it, and I won't apologize.
I completely just gonna.
Also, I just finished a what do you call them? I almost said jacked water. That's not what it is. The Angry Orchard. It's like a sparkling cider. There we go. Jacked water. What the fuck was I talking about?
So when I first started drinking and I was able to drink in public and not in a college dorm, welcome to the Platformer Shoot podcast. That's right, Harry. I remember we were at a movie tavern to see Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and I went to
excellent movie,
and I went to the bar before the movie started because we were waiting to get in, and I said to the bartender, I was trying to be all fancy and funny, and I was like, "What beer do you have on the fountain?" And then they looked at me and they were like, "I need to see your ID."
And you're like, "Yay, verily."
Yeah, I forgot that it was called a tap, and I felt really stupid. Anyway, so or a draft, exactly.
Yeah.
So this weekend, oh no, my audio stopped recording on the audition. Oh well, we're gonna have to just pull this audio. It's fine. Double whammy. So I know. Double whammy. Anyway, I have the living room PC at this point.
Yeah.
So,
which I've thought about. I want to ping you about something later. So remind me if I forget.
So I think I finally found the setup that I'm gonna stick with because I kept trying different Linux releases and things like that. Hello. I know we got so many RSVPs back. Wow. Yeah. And I went and I put them in the site already. They're already there. So it's all done.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. Wow.
Wow. Love you.
Wow, love you. Wow.
So
Chris always gets a kiss mid podcast.
Yeah, she's done work at 8 and then she's home by 8:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it works. He's like, I always get a kiss mid podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna say hi to you. Because I haven't seen you in 12 hours.
I know. It's too long.
It's too long.
Oh, it's jelly.
Anyway.
I gotta get my kiss on.
That's right. So
I'll start kissing my hands just to feel something.
Oh God. Jesus. So yeah, I have the living room PC, and I tried a couple different things Raspberry or Picade running on Ubuntu, and I tried running just a Windows PC in there for a while, and every time I went to use it, it was okay, I gotta boot the thing up, I gotta get a keyboard out, I gotta open up whatever app I'm gonna use, and then I have to turn on the controller. It was this 10-minute process, and I was like, this is ridiculous. So there's this application or Linux distro that you can get called Batocera, which it's 2 gig, I think, 2 or 6 gig. Anyway, you install it on a USB stick, you pop it into any computer that you want to run it on, and you boot to that. And on it, it has all of the emulators that you would need preloaded, just ready to go. And if you want to dedicate a PC to it, you can install dependent files and directories on that PC. So right now, what I do with the living room PC is once you get it working or whatever, you boot it up, and then there's a directory for ROMs, and then there's one for BIOS. ROMs are literally broken up where it's here's N64, here's NES, here's GBA, Genesis, every emulator, there's PS3 and 360, they're all just preloaded in there, and then they just keep adding adding to it as more are developed. And once the ROM directory gets dropped in, you just like hook up a 360 controller or like a Xbox One controller or whatever, and like you're ready to go. Like it just works out of the box. Unless
That's
you need
awesome.
to get like a BIOS or whatever. So I went ahead and like, copied all my ROMs over to that. And then like scraped all like the box art and stuff like that, picked out a theme, all that. But like we ended up playing a ton of Mario Party 5 this weekend because Jess's sister was visiting. And it works with the GameCube adapter for the Wii U. I plugged in my original GameCube controllers and like it just like went. It works
awesome.
super, super easily.
I really, really need to get like an all-in-one, like self-contained solution for all of that stuff because I really want to engage in that, particularly because I'm somebody who basically gave all my stuff to my sister or, sold it to buy the new stuff.
Yeah,
so like I don't have a lot of that old stuff. And I was also thinking about like, oh, I've got like all these 3DS games that I want to play or the like classic DS or Game Boy Advance games that like I own, but I don't have any way to play them. And like, I just want to have one thing where I can just be like, all right, I want to play this game. Let me boot it up. Let me play it. All that sort of stuff. Just like make it easy. And I just haven't put in the time. I know it would take like several days probably to like get everything squared away for that. And I'm very hungry for that, especially now, we're getting like, oh, hey, this advanced collection of Castlevania and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I have these games. I just haven't played them yet.
That happens to me a lot. Like there was the Disney, I mean, I ended up buying it, but like the Disney Afternoon Collection, like they put like DuckTales on PS4. They did the Aladdin and Lion King re-releases on like Switch and all the last gen consoles and everything. And there's like that initial moment of like, oh my god, like I should pick that up. And then I have to like remind myself, no, I have those in the living room. Like I just need to actually play them if I want to play them.
Yeah. So I've started picking some of those up on Steam. Just because like I feel like that is kind of the one platform where I'm like, I'm just gonna future-proof this. I'll have it, and then I'll be able to refer back to it later, and I don't have to worry about whether Xbox or Sony or Nintendo definitely won't. But like if somebody won't support this game in the future, if I want to play it like on the next generation or whatever,
right,
something like that. So,
but which
is actually something I've been getting into that I want to talk about later. But yeah, you're saying.
But no, it's been a great way. Like Jess this weekend, following the announcement of Chocobo GP, when I told her like was showing her like everything that this thing could do, I have a bunch of like ROMs of PlayStation games that I know she loves to play, and I was like, Chocobo GP is on there, like you can play that, because she was saying how badly she was like, man, I wish I could, and I was like, you can, like it's just there. And hand her the Xbox controller. She played the whole thing start to finish on Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's been... And what's cool is, like, we have a lot of friends that, grew up playing, like, Mario Party 4, 5, 6, and 7, and, all these GameCube and Wii games or whatever. And now they're like, hey, can we, like, have another game night to, come play these games that I haven't been able to play in how many years? And it's just kind of like revitalized that whole like couch co-op or couch, competitive multiplayer night that like you used to get with like the N64 and GameCube and all those eras where, now so many things come out. A lot of them don't even have local multiplayer, which is like a huge annoyance for me. Like everything's just online and I hate doing that. So, I mean, it's definitely an involved process. Or it can be an involved process depending on like problems you run into. Like I had a problem with like getting my my graphics card recognized. Like I had to like go into I had to SSH into some file and like uncheck a hash, like a comment, in like a config file just to be like turn NVIDIA GPU on, and like now it can read all of that and work the way I want it to. But it's been pretty great. Like I'm super excited. One of my friends from work gave me like Waluigi's Taco Stand, which is like I think it's a Mario 64 ROM hack.
I was about to say that sounds fake.
Yeah. He has like a bunch of fake games. He has that. He has Dragon Ball Kart, which is Mario Kart 64.
Yo, hell yeah.
There were a couple other ones that he mentioned that he was just like, yeah, I have this like all these like random like N64 ROM hacks that like you should check out. So I'm like diving into all that now, which is really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Oh, so that's been what I know you're busy with a lot of personal stuff as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's been planning the wedding, and then, like, honestly, whenever I've had downtime, it's been messing with that. I will say, like, Mario Party 5, much more fun than I remember. I remember dunking on that game a lot, like, when, you know, I was, like, a teenager or whenever that game came out. And it's, like, arguably the most chaotic Mario Party that I've ever played, or that I, like, in recent memory that I could think of. They give you these, like, capsules that you can get and throw on different spaces. So like I would imagine if you were to play, we were playing like 15 turn games, but if you were to play like a 50 turn game, like every space would become a thing, like, you know, swap coins with somebody or like, I don't know, attack another player or whatever. And it made it a lot more interesting than just like a traditional, you know, whatever game of Mario Party. But we were having a lot of fun with it. It was cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. The last weekend and this weekend, I just spent a lot of time with Halo Infinite's flight. They introduced Big Team Battles, which is, I think, 12 on 12.
Yep.
Something like that. It's ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous. Like, I got way more used to a lot of the weapons. I like a lot more of them now. Like, weapons that I initially didn't really care for, I'm like, oh, yeah, I definitely see that this is, like, really powerful if you know how to use it properly. And it's just a blast. I can't wait. We played it like the last night on Sunday. We played it. I was busy. I was at band practice, and Audrey played during the afternoon while Riley was asleep. She played like the whole time. And then when I got home, we played the entire night shift, which I think was like from 5 to 11 or something.
Oh, wow.
So we played like that whole time. And it was awesome. Like, it was just, she's like installed Master Chief Collection of Halo 5 and is just going to be playing that just in the meantime while waiting for Halo Infinite to come out. I can't wait. This is the first time that she's ever gotten into the multiplayer aspect of it. Like, we just did campaign co-op and that was just it. But now, like, she got to the point where like she played the multiplayer without me being there. And was like frustrated because people weren't doing teamwork, which is like, you know, online multiplayer games just in general. A lot of people are just not going to go towards the objective.
It's hard to do that when you're playing with randos. Like, it's different if you're like, this is my squad that I'm like playing with every night. Yeah.
Yeah. But I could definitely see that being like a thing that we do regularly. But yeah, that kept me from playing a lot of other stuff. But I still wanted to jump a little bit into some deeper kind of thoughts on games that I just briefly mentioned last week, like Death's Gambit, Afterlife, Potioncraft, and what was the last one? Actraiser Renaissance. So did you have anything you wanted to particularly talk about first? I don't exactly recall what I got super deep into before, or if anything.
I more just want to touch on something real quick that just popped on my phone.
Sure.
So Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl comes out tomorrow.
Okay.
Some people are saying that it is faster. Actually, most people that have been reviewing it, at least, or have early impressions of it, it's faster than Melee, which is like insane. Because
Melee was the fastest one.
It's the fastest one. Yeah. Games seem like they will last, or at least like a life will last like only a couple of hits. So it seems like you're gonna have to do like stock 9 and 10, and you know, like these crazy numbers. The other thing I wanted to bring up, if you are a PlayStation Plus member, apparently right now it's 20% off PlayStation Plus. If you pre-order that, if you get it at Best Buy, there's a $10 gift card that you get with it. It is $40 on the Xbox Live and Nintendo Switch eShops.
It's coming to PC, right?
It is also coming to PC. I don't think there's a sale on that, though.
I'd be interested to know where a community pops up for that game. Because it's very similar to games that are on Switch, but apparently the netcode's going to be better, and Smash doesn't have good netcode at all. But traditionally, fighting games are most successful on PlayStation and PC.
Yeah, I would think that would be the same. It seems like they're trying to push it to Xbox players, but
Makes sense.
I think historically, like you just said, the fighting game community just hasn't really, flocked to that by any means. At least not in the last generation, really.
Which is a shame because some really great fighting games can be played on Xbox.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention is a game that I just I love to hate. Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2 Grand Prix is $20 on the Xbox Live store right now.
Nice.
Which it has not been that cheap in a while. And if you miss Mario Kart, you should play it because it's actually a mediocre game.
Oh, very good. Very good. Yeah, so as for Potioncraft, Death's Gambit, Afterlife, and ActRaiser Renaissance, what did you want to jump into first?
What's this Potions Craft game?
So this is a game that I got sent by Tiny Build. It is in early access right now. I got it on PC. I don't think it is available on anything else. I've been playing it with a mouse because it has a lot of movement, a lot of motion, stirring, and you click on something and then you just wiggle it around, that sort of stuff. It is basically a game where you are going along the quote unquote alchemist's path. So, man, I feel like I mentioned this, but I may have just talked to it about somebody else with it. But my first comment on this game is in all caps, dude, I fucking love this game. It has incredibly chill, great music. The art is really cool. I don't know if you're looking it up right now, but it's like drawn kind of Renaissance or medieval style art. Think of the intros to Monty Python's Flying Circus, and then tone that down a little bit, and you get this. It's drawn, but very kind of parchment.
I think this was in a Nintendo Direct at one point.
Was it? Is this coming to Switch? That's interesting.
I think. I could be wrong, but
I think
I've seen a game that looks like this in the
So I think I mentioned this because I remember making this statement. It's a combination of the Moonlighter shopkeeping sections and also Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action, which is when you mix drinks and stuff.
Yeah.
So your day has 3 sections to it. You wake up in your room, you go downstairs, you go outside, and these are all just button inputs. So you're in your room, you hit the down button, the down key, it goes down to your laboratory. You hit the right key, it pans over to your garden. And then you just click on the different plants that are growing in your garden that grow each day. And then that adds them to your inventory. Then you go back to your, you hit left on the D-pad or whatever, or the left arrow key. You go back to your lab. You drag one of those from your inventory into the mortar and pestle. You grind it up. You just click on it and grind it up, which is surprisingly satisfying. To just grind it up until it's all mashed into a paste, and then you pick it up and then you drop it in your cauldron, and then you stir it. And as you're doing this, basically every ingredient that you add has a particular directional function, and your cursor starts at the very beginning, at the very middle of this giant map. And this is how you do recipes. You add directional inputs together to make your way around the map. So you start from neutral, and let's say, I've got a fire pepper or something, and that sends me up and to the left in a wiggly pattern. So then as you're stirring the cauldron, your cursor will move up and to the left on the little map. So you'll discover there's a fog of war around you on this map, and it will open up, and then you'll see, okay, here's skulls, and if I actually maneuver my cursor over those, it will make my potion fail. But if I get over here to where there's this bottle with a question mark on it, and then I stop making my potion at that point and create it, I'll learn a new potion. and then you can like add that to a shortcuts recipe list where you can like auto make them after that. But you're basically using these different plants to move your cursor around this map to get to different types of potions that you need to make. And you can purchase extra recipe pages so that you can have more like presets saved. So like early on in the game, a lot of people are asking for healing potions. You save one of those to your recipe page, and then you just go to your tab and hit auto make. And if you've got the ingredients, it just makes it. And then you just, when you're done making your potions or whatever, you hit left on the arrow key and it goes to your shop. And then people start filing in single file, and they'll tell you a little miniature story. It's like one paragraph or two where they're like, oh, I was out and I was bitten by this snake, so I'm looking for something that will heal me. Or like, my husband got injured while he was working the plow yesterday. He needs something to heal him. Like, these are all like healing potion requests or something. Right. And then some of them are a little bit more abstract and you kind of have to figure them out. So like somebody was like, hey, I'm exploring this cave, but this cave has a bunch of explosive gas in it, so I can't bring my candle. Do you have anything that can help me out? And I had explored the map enough that I found the recipe for Potion of Light. And so I was able to give them a potion that just illuminated the area without the need for an open flame. And then like they're like, okay, then once you drag your potion to the scale, and then they weigh it against what they're willing to pay for it, and you can haggle with them, and there's like a little haggling mini game. And as you wander around, as you complete more things, as you move your cursor around the screen, you'll go through little EXP orbs, like little book things on the map, and those will add experience. And then for each level that you get like a talent point that you can then add to a bunch of different columns. So there's like shopkeeping, and that's like your base level prices will just increase as you invest more into that. Then there's like, oh, I have a chance to not use my ingredients when I make a potion. I have a chance of making double potions or something. Then there's like, oh, I get more experience, or like, oh, I can haggle way more, or I can buy things at a discount. There's like all sorts of stuff that you can upgrade depending on how you want to lean into it. But basically that game loop is the same.
Yeah.
Like you welcome these people in. If you're really great with satisfying their needs, your reputation goes up. You get more customers. You'll have like more renown. People will want to come to your store. You'll get more, and then you'll make more money and all that sort of stuff. If you can't figure out how to satisfy them, then your reputation actually suffers and stuff like that. So it's about balancing that. I typically didn't get into the haggling that much because it didn't seem to be that incredibly useful. It didn't seem to add that much. Like I would be selling something for like 30 or 40 gold, and I would get like 2 or 3 more or something. Like it just didn't really seem worth it. So I just ended up just selling at default prices and was totally fine, at least for a while. I got done with the first chapter. I think I'm almost done with the second chapter. I'm not entirely sure. I need to actually go back and check on that. I may actually be further. I may actually be at like chapter 3 or 4. I can't remember. But yeah, it's let me see what else I've got written down here. Oh yeah, using the mortar and pestle doubles the ingredient's effectiveness, which doubles the distance that it travels on the map. So you actually have to keep in mind whether you want to grind something up or not, if you're trying to go a far distance or if you're trying to be more precise and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Yeah, it's got a really just soothing rhythm. Like you go out to your garden, you pick your plants, you make your potions, you check your customers and see what they need. You make more potions to satisfy them.
Yeah, it seems like a rainy Sunday afternoon kind of game.
It is that exactly. Like I highly recommend like getting it, load up on your laptop, and just play it on the couch while you're like watching something else.
Yeah.
Because it's not time intensive. The people will stand there as long as you want, unless you dismiss them. And then it's just. You just, at the end of the day, when all your customers have gone through, you go up to your room and you click on your bed and you go to sleep and you wake up the next day and you do it again. And you get more complicated requests as time goes on. But like a lot of it is just like, let me just explore around this map. Let me see what I can find.
Yeah.
And it's so different, and it's been a long time since I've had like I guess not a long time since I've had like a really soothing game, because I just played Toem, which is like very soothing. And there have been like other games like that, but this is one of those that I really, really enjoyed. and it's still in early access, so like it can get, who knows what it'll end up as, but
Yeah.
but it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
So yeah,
That's cool.
that's that, and then I've been playing ActRaiser Renaissance and Death's Gambit Afterlife. We briefly talked about Death's Gambit. I think I talked about ActRaiser for a little while last week.
You talked about ActRaiser a little bit.
Like 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, I'm looking up Death's Gambit. Yes, you touched on this briefly. I think you were just starting it out. It seemed like it was it's like a Castlevania or Metroidvania kind of deal.
Yeah, it's kind of there have been combinations or comparisons to Souls-likes in this one, which I don't think are totally out of order. In the same way that like Death's Door, the Dark Souls comparisons were fucking outrageous.
Yeah.
And like borderline offensive to me because that game is straight up Zelda. Like it's not Dark Souls at all. Whereas this, I see it. Gameplay is like more methodical. Like there are more like so basically the premise of the story is you die in an assault on a nation that is comprised of immortal beings. So you die trying to like take them on, basically trying to steal the secrets of immortality. And Death isn't a real big fan of immortality, and so he basically conscripts you and gives you a contract that gives you immortality as long as you serve him. And basically he's like, all right, I need you to go in and kill all these immortal beings because this is like, I can't let people not die. They have to.
Right.
And so basically, it's a side-scrolling action game. The comparisons to Castlevania are not out of line. That's actually a pretty good comparison. Although the combat is a bit deeper than that. Like you can do sliding attacks, which will stun enemies that have their shields up. And then you can attack them. There are also different ways to accumulate like kind of you've got like in Souls games, you have a stamina meter, and that is spent with attacks and also with dodge rolls and things like this. But you also have like a third meter that is like spirit energy. And depending on what class you pick, it determines how you generate that energy. So if you choose a class that is all about parrying, you have to parry enemies to generate the spirit energy to use your special moves.
Okay.
So I am playing the Death's Acolyte, which you get that energy from killing enemies. And it also gives you the ability to kind of rebuild broken statues of death, which are like kind of your save points. So the Death's Acolyte actually gets more save points in their game than other classes. Which I think is cool. And I'm always about that.
Yeah.
So the Death's Acolyte starts with a giant scythe, and it has like an advancing slashing attack and like a giant spin attack in the air, and you can get all kinds of weapons. You can get, daggers and swords, and, you can get bows and, different abilities and spells and things like this. Bosses are very much like Castlevania, where you're going to be moving around, you're going to be dodging a lot of dangerous attacks and things. One of the interesting things that is different about this is that you have these things called Phoenix Plumes, which is how you heal. But at your rest spots, you can actually kind of gamble those for extra damage. So let's say you have 5 heals, right? You can say, you know what? I don't need 5 heals. I'm going to put 3 of those heals into extra damage, and it takes away your 3 heals and gives you, I think, a 5% damage bonus for each one of those that you use. So if you have, 5 heals and you're like, I don't need any of these, you can do 125% damage. So you can just be like, all right, I'm going to be really reckless, have no heals, and do a ton of extra damage. Like you can just kind of customize that at your leisure.
Yeah.
And you know, when you get up to a boss, if you're like, if you decide I wanna not get hit at all and beat this boss really fast, take no heals, get all of your maximum damage enhanced, and you can switch that whenever you want. Anytime you get to a rest point, you can be like, you know what, I actually do need those heals, and then pivot it back off of damage into having like 5 heals, or whatever. And you can pick up more heals and different types of heals as you go on. Like I picked up a crystallized plume, and it reduces your damage taken by 30% for like 5 seconds after you heal. So if you're in a tough encounter, you could just equip that and all sorts of stuff like that. You've also got like different types of auras that you can equip that give you bonuses. There's one that makes you tougher, but it breaks if you die with it on. Like there's all sorts of cool stuff that you can get. And as you move around and beat bosses, you get like movement stuff, like a classic Metroid style game. So like I beat one of the earlier bosses and I got an air dash. Well, that opens up traversal. That opens up your ability to avoid taking damage in the air. Like that lets you get to new platforms and all sorts of stuff like that. So I'm having a blast with it. And the writing's also really good. When you die, death like kind of talks shit about you. Like when you die, he comes and takes your soul and he's like, you know, you've got like a couple of level ups that you can do. I don't know what you're waiting for. Like,
yeah.
So like he's just talking smack to you. But yeah, like I'm like 4 or 5 bosses in. It's really, really fun. I like it a lot. It's apparently like 12 to 14 hours long, which is like not like, it's pretty substantial.
Yeah.
For for one of these games. I think that's roughly double the length that it was before. I think they had said that the Afterlife, because Death's Gambit was out before, but the Afterlife patch just adds a lot more to the game.
That's what I was about to say. It looks like the original did not review that well. Like IGN gave it a 6.7 as a Metacritic of. I mean, it's fine. Like Metacritic is 72. It's not like this amazing,
Are there reviews
10
for
out of
Afterlife
10.
out yet?
There are user reviews for Afterlife, but people are giving it like 9s and 10s. It looks like.
They added a lot more. I'm not that far in, and I didn't really get into the first one because I when I bought the original Death's Gambit on PC, I knew that they were doing this update, and I knew that it was going to substantially change the game. So I was just like, I'll just wait.
Yeah,
I've got other stuff that I can be doing. But yeah, I've been playing it on PC and Switch. On PC, there's a little bit of a delay when you go into like the rest menu that I have not experienced on Switch. But on Switch, I also had a little bit longer of a loading time than I did on PC. But I did tell the rep that sent me the key for that, and they relayed that to the team. So I know that they're planning on trying to patch everything out and making it bug free and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said the team actually said that they want to make sure the game is bug free on each platform. So I would presume that these are going to get fixed eventually.
Nice.
And it's not that long. It's not like Chrono Trigger on PS1 long.
Yeah.
When you're going into a save thing, it's just a couple of seconds. It's just noticeable because it's not there on Switch.
Well, and if you're, you have a direct comparison. Like if you're used to seeing it on PC and then you go to Switch and you're like, oh, what is this?
And the only reason I even do that is because I was sent a key for Switch and I already owned the game on PC. So
yeah.
So that's the only reason that I could really do a 1-to-1. But I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
If my schedule wasn't completely freaking slammed, I would have played way more. But I am planning on getting back to it when I'm done with what I'm currently working on. There's a lot of good stuff, and there's a lot of cool stuff that's coming out. The busy season has begun.
It really has. I mean, it's crazy that tomorrow we have Nickelodeon, which like I'm very excited for. And then Friday's Metroid.
Friday is Metroid Dread.
And I don't know if it's just that.
I will tell you, I'm really glad, as much as it pains me that I won't be able to play Halo this weekend, I'm very glad that there is not a Halo Infinite flight this weekend, so that I don't have to choose.
Yeah.
I
mean, I would choose Metroid if it were me.
I mean, it's a limited time thing. Yeah. I
it's
agree.
Not like, we're pretty close to Halo's like multiplayer launch, at least as of now, unless they push it, and I don't think they will. I mean,
Isn't
feel
it
like
December?
Yeah.
It's still like all of October and all of November.
Yeah, but it's not like we have any shortage. I also have the wedding. Like,
Sure, yeah.
I have plenty of things to occupy my time right now.
I'm way busier during the day with work and stuff. So like my evening hours have become so much more precious.
Yep.
So it's I am cautiously optimistic about Metroid. I really want it to be amazing. I really hope that Mercury Steam learned a lot from Samus Returns and has upped their game significantly for this one.
I hope so because man, I did not like that game. I mean, I didn't play it for very long. I should try to revisit it.
It is good. It is probably the third best or fourth best. It is either the third best or the fourth best Metroid game, I think.
Out of 4.
No, I mean, about all of them, yeah.
Yeah.
I think almost all of the 2D Metroid games are better than any of the 3D ones.
Yeah. Do you feel any compulsion to go get an OLED Switch right now?
No.
Me either.
I mean, there's a couple of complicating factors for that. One, we were talking about this, but like, one of the members of my band just left, so like I need to be saving up for another drum kit because the one I'm using is his.
Yeah.
For the band, so it's like, and I already went over budget on this electric kit so that I could record stuff for actual tracks that we were releasing.
Right.
And stuff like just from the comfort of my own home. So like I got that I got to buy like a couple of other things, and then like I can't justify it.
Yeah. Well, and
I would sooner stay for the Steam Deck than I would that. Because that's actually going to give me something different.
Right. And that's another part of the conversation too that I keep forgetting about, and I feel like that I'm going to be surprised that thing comes out this year for the people that are in the queue for it. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I got mine in like very fast, and it tells me Q1 2022.
I should see mine. I know some people shifted up, so it's sooner than what they were originally
Last time I checked, it was Q1 2022.
I'm gonna log in now and check.
Originally, it was I think December of this year, but yeah.
Mine moved up. Mine was Q2 of next year, and it just moved to Q1.
Okay.
And I'm super excited for that system, but like not that
Me
I
too.
know how much I'm gonna use it really, but I
probably going
messing
to
with
use
hardware.
I'm probably going to use it a lot because right now I'm in this thing where it's like I would be playing a lot more on my Switch, but like I don't own the same games that I have.
Yeah.
I can't continue. But like right now I could be playing Death Gambit on that.
Yeah.
Like, and then continue that on my, on my like main PC. I could be practicing Guilty Gear Strive or different stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I could be doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I could be playing Deathloop on there. Like, there's stuff that the Switch literally will not run.
Yeah.
Will run on that, and that's the promise for me. I don't have to settle for like crappy performance on a handheld. I can actually get something that runs well.
Yeah, I think I'll be okay not wanting an OLED Switch until I see one. I think if somebody I knew got one and then was like, check this out, and I like got to feel it in my hands, I feel like there's a good chance I'd be like, wow, I really want this.
That's how I was with the new Nintendo 3DS XL.
Yeah.
I was totally fine with my 3DS, and then somebody, so I was in a line. That was when they were doing the previews for the, oh my God, it was the previews for, was it Super Mario 3D World? Before it was like,
oh, in Best Buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was at that event, and somebody was playing Pokemon like next to me on a new Nintendo 3DS XL, and they were like, "Yeah, check it out." And I was like, "Oh my God, I have to have this."
This thing is amazing.
Yeah, it was a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm usually that way with all of their consoles, and right now it's just, I don't know. There's, even when I turn it on, like there are games that I want to play that are on Switch, and then like I start playing it and I'm like, it's not 60 FPS. Like,
Nope. It's not.
Yeah. Hyrule Warriors runs at like 15. I'm just like, I can't.
And playing on PS5 and Series X and even my PC is just like, I have to prioritize performance. I have to.
Yep. I'm at the point now where I'm actually starting to I'm really starting to like trim down on a lot of the hardware that I have, or at least like I'm thinking about trimming it down. I'm getting rid of a lot of records right now, but
I've really been trimming down a lot of stuff. Well, I've been
thinking about it.
trimming
I was
down.
waiting to see if you said anything. No, like I have a Virtual Boy in the case with like a bunch of games and stuff. Like I can play all those games on the Quest. Not that they're even that good, but like it's a much better experience. You can change the color palette so you're not staring into a red void. Like there are better ways
You
to
don't
experience
come out
a lot of
like
these
Kramer Jerry from Kenny Rogers Roasters episode.
things. Yeah, like it's just too. I don't know. It's just taking up too much space.
Yeah.
I'm finally getting to that point in my life where I'm like, maybe I don't need this.
Yep.
It's weird.
Maybe you don't.
Maybe I don't.
So, what do you say? Shall we get into the main topic?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, and people of all kinds, we are counting down to episode 200. It is nigh upon us. It is approaching so very quickly.
2 weeks.
And yeah, 2 weeks. And to celebrate, we have been counting down our top 20 games of all time. Last week, I talked about Borderlands 2, Portal 2, World of Warcraft, BlazBlue Continuum Shift, and Diablo 3 Eternal Collection. Chris, what were your 20 through 16?
My 20 through 16, Mario Kart 8, Guacamelee, Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, Beat Saber, and Batman Arkham City.
Nice. And I don't remember what Josh's were because we did not take notes of that, but he sent us his for this week. So why don't we go ahead and get the discussion started with number 15? Shall I begin?
Do you want to roll? How are we doing Josh's? Are we going to roll through his and then let him?
I figure we'll do his when we do each of ours. So we'll do 15 for us and then 15 for him, and then we'll discuss.
Okay.
And then we'll just keep going through 14. And I know that he's going to, he has told me he's going to record a little solo section because he's not here, and then he's going to plug it in since he is also doing the edit for this week. So I'm not sure where he's going to plug that in, but I also do want to throw our little 2 cents in, particularly because you will notice something very interesting with Josh and my entries this week.
Okay.
Or at least one of them.
Okay.
So previously we had a discussion about game collections that came together, and that is definitely going to come into play right now. Actually.
Yeah. So the reason being, me especially, because I'm a ridiculous human being. A lot of my favorite games are either the Uncharted or Last of Us series, and that would take up half my list. And I said that was not something I wanted to do. So
cool.
That would not be fun.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. That also makes my stuff a little bit simpler. So my number 15 is if I had to pick one, it would be Halo Reach. Or what I put in there instead is Halo the Master Chief Collection.
Sure.
Which has the best version of Reach that you can play right now.
Yeah.
So Halo Reach or Halo 3 would go interchangeably. This was when I was in the height of my playing Halo multiplayer, which is something that Halo Infinite has really started to scratch the itch of again. And I can really see myself probably not going back to the extent because I was in college at the time and it was just like all we were doing.
Yeah.
My roommates and I, and we would have people over all the time to just like play 4-player online and just like roll through people and stuff. But that was like the golden era of Halo multiplayer. Halo 3 and Halo Reach were also the beginning and ending of the series at that point. There's a lot of emotional resonance to it. Particularly with Halo Reach, it tells a very emotional story. And although it's not Master Chief, if you're particularly attached to the Chief and Cortana's story, which like I am, Reach doesn't overtly focus on the story of Chief and Cortana. It does, but you don't realize it until the end. But it was just a really great story about Noble Team, and a great story about not first contact with the Covenant, but the most important interaction with the Covenant that is referenced in the story. It's referenced at the beginning of Halo 1. And as someone for whom Halo is such a touchstone, it is really, I think, symbolic of perhaps the best the series has ever been, both from a gameplay and narrative standpoint. I think it really does fuse all of that together in a really beautiful way. And I still model my Spartans in multiplayer after George from Reach.
Yeah.
In fact, in Halo Infinite, when I got the big, bulky front plate in the first battle pass with the collar, I was like, hell yeah, this one's for George, and I put it on. But yeah, it's really, really great. And the Master Chief Collection is just a great way to play it. That also includes Halo 2 Anniversary, which has my headcanon version of Cortana in those blur cutscenes, because she's just awesome.
Yeah.
You got anything to say about Reach and Master Chief Collection?
I will in a bit.
I mean, should we just cut to Josh's?
Yeah.
So, fun fact, number 15 for Josh is also Halo Reach. And I did not know that when I made my placement.
Yeah.
We made all of our top 20s in complete secret, and I can't believe that we had a game that exactly matches the 15 slot. So Josh also put Halo Reach at number 15.
Very nice.
So, what if you don't have anything to say about Halo Reach?
I will
pick?
hold my tongue about Halo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your number 15?
My number 15 is Rayman Legends.
Nice.
Yeah. This game, I think I own it on like every last gen platform. It was one of the main reasons I
They also gave it away a lot.
They did. I think I bought it on everything, including Switch. Or was given it. Like I love this game. It was one of the main reasons I bought a Wii U. Like I still to this day remember.
Oh my god! Yeah, it was a Wii U exclusive at first.
This was a Wii U launch title.
That's where I played it. Actually,
it was supposed to be a launch title and then was delayed. But I played it for the first time in the Nintendo store in New York City, and it was the first time I got to play with the Wii U. It was the first time I used the gamepad and everything. The touchpad,
Switch?
Yeah, the knockoff Switch, the Switch 0.5, and thought the way that it incorporated the use of the touchpad and everything was so cool.
It was really an ingenious use of the Wii U gamepad. It really, really was.
Yeah, and it was one of the few games period on the Wii U that I think really did it well, and it added to the gameplay experience that wasn't a first party Nintendo game. Obviously, a lot of first party stuff did that very well. And then
my god, I forgot about the lottery ticket the scratchers.
You could scratch.
That was
the lottery
so
tickets.
satisfying.
You could I remember you had there was a wheel that you would spin and in the first level, and the level would rotate and you would hop into this it was a circle. You would hop into it and move around this maze to get out of it.
You would rotate the gamepad, and it would actually change your character's orientation in this spinning wheel.
Yeah.
So you would have to do the platforming as you were spinning the wheel, or spin it, hold it to the side, which would create a platform that you could jump to, or then grab onto something and then pivot it the other way, and then you'd be able to it would let you kind of reorient yourself.
Yeah.
Super inventive.
Yeah.
You jump onto something, you use the Wii U gamepad stylus to drag the little bellows or whatever to get stuff out of your way.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool.
all that being said, I did not play this game on the Wii U all the way through.
I think I played like 75 or 80% of it and then just stopped. I don't remember beating this.
No, we Jess and I have beaten it twice now. Once on PS4 and then once on Xbox One. And it's one of our favorite like couch co-op games. There were just like so many like Hail Mary moments where like traditionally like I'm usually like better than her at 2D platformers. Where like, I would die trying to do something or whatever, and then she would be the last one left, and she would just be like, "We have to save the people," and like just do all these like ridiculous moves in it to try and get out. I used to have a lot of really good memories with that game, and just playing it with her, for literally like the entirety of a day. And yeah, it's just like, and the music levels in it are super fun.
Really great.
They go to like the beat of a song or something like that. Just a really, really great 2D platformer. If you've never played it, and you have somebody to play with, there's very few games like it that are that fun, and it's super cheap. It's probably like $5 or $10 now. Yeah. Or you may own it and not know.
I was about to say, you may actually have access to it on your, I forget, did they give it away with like PS Plus or Xbox Live or something?
I think like so. Xbox Live Gold gave it away. I think I bought it on PlayStation.
I guess they wouldn't have done that. I was thinking it might have been like an Epic Game Store game, but like they got Uplay, so probably not.
They gave it away on Uplay at one point.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
so that's
you have Uplay. A lot of people don't.
Yeah. So that's all of our 15s?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so number 14 for me, Disgaea, Hour of Darkness, or I couldn't decide, or Disgaea 4. I wanted to have one entry to the Disgaea franchise. I think that if we're purely going for importance or influence, I think that it has to be Disgaea 1 because that has the best story. But mechanically, it's not quite there. And I feel like Disgaea 4 had a really good story, but it also had like mechanics that are almost where the series is now. If they hadn't introduced like auto battling in Disgaea 6, Disgaea 4 is about as advanced as it ever got.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. But the Disgaea series is the PlayStation 1. I spent a lot of time playing Final Fantasy Tactics. And then Square is like, you know what? We're not really going to release some more of those until like Game Boy Advance, Game Boy DS. But those games are like they're the same, like as far as your gameplay is concerned. They're like almost the same, but tonally they're like wildly different. They don't have that like kind of dark atmosphere. Disgaea, or it's like its full name is Makai Senki Disgaea. And of like the original game, which is set in the same universe as Makai Kingdom, which is another NIS or Nippon Ichi Software game. But this game, you play as Laharl, the little demon prince, who's been asleep for 4 years when he only meant to sleep for like a day or like a couple of weeks or something like that. And he wakes up and his father, King Khrushchevskoy, who was the demon lord of the underworld, who was the overlord, has been killed. And so he just wakes up to the netherworld just in chaos. And his job is to figure out what happened and take his rightful place as the overlord of the netherworld. And his vassal is kind of trying to undermine him at all turns. And there's an angel that is, that has snuck into the netherworld trying to figure out what's going on with him and why everything is so terrible. And it's a really heartwarming story about a lot of cool characters. And it's got cool strategic gameplay. Like you've got all sorts of classes, you can level up, you can get all sorts of crazy weapons. Unlike Final Fantasy Tactics, the damage is like completely out of control. You can level up to like ridiculous, you can get to like level 9,999 or something like that. Like it's outrageous. It takes everything that Final Fantasy Tactics did and just turns it up to like not even 11, like 25 or something. It's like ridiculous. And so that really became something that I would go to since Square wasn't interested particularly in making a bunch of tactics games. And
Yeah.
tactics games, like there still aren't that many of them. You know, like I reviewed Fell Seal, Arbiter's Mark, and a bunch of games like that. Like people have started to do it, but there are so few that are like really, really great. And I think the fact that Disgaea has a cult following is kind of evidence that that Nippon Ichi has been doing it right. And so that's why I put Disgaea and Disgaea 4 on number 14 at my list.
Nice.
Cool.
Number 14 for me is Resident Evil 4.
Oh
Yeah. And actually,
one of these days I'm gonna beat this game.
hold on.
Is he gonna get the buzzsaw or the whatever, the weird controller? Yeah, he is.
It's still sealed.
Yeah, that's the Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller. Very cool.
Yep. That's the chainsaw controller for the PS2. I had the GameCube one years ago. I sold it. That one's yellow. Resident Evil 4 is a really great combination of just like, I don't know, it's a great third-person action game, horror game, survival game. Everybody knows, you know, similar to The Last of Us, like everybody knows I love like third-person shooters that have to deal with like resource management. And I think that game
And
does
zombies.
it. And zombies, yeah. That game does it really in a really clever way.
My name is Chris Shriver, and I have a type.
Yeah, I have a type. It's 3D platformers and zombies at me. The way that, you know, you manage inventory, everybody's seen, you know, I feel like at this point that suitcase, you know, and upgrading that suitcase is such a good feeling when you're going through RE4. So it's so campy, and like he's such a, like Leon Kennedy's such a boy band dude. The plot of like you have to save the president's daughter, like it's just so.
I've played not very much of this game, although apparently the game is so short that I actually played most of it. I had no idea. I was like, yeah, I was only like a couple hours into this game, and I think Josh told me like, yeah, where did you get to? And I was like, yeah, like I think I met this little Napoleon dude, and he's like, you almost beat it. I was like, what?
Not necessarily. I mean, that's only like it's probably like 12 or 15 hours, depending on how much you do in it. Like I
got to the president's daughter, and then I got a little ways beyond that.
No, yeah,
like that.
you were not close to the end. Okay. Yeah, you had a ways to go. Anyway, I just recently played this game though, like a couple months ago, when Resident Evil 8 came out, or Village, and I wanted to see how it held up. It had been like a number of years since I had played it. I think the last time I did was on the Wii. And it still does, man. Like I play this game and it just gets its hooks in me. It's like coming home to your favorite, you know, just demented, your favorite
terrorized Eastern European village.
Exactly. They're putting it on the Oculus Quest this month. I'm very excited to try that in first person.
That's not going to be terrifying at all.
Not at all. So I'm very interested to see how that goes. It's just a great campy zombie game. If you've never played it, it's on practically everything. And one of my favorite quotes. One of my favorite quotes. Hold on, let me find it. I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah, you have to. It's so good.
Director quote. Let's see if I can find it.
This is like up there with what was it? The director Final Fantasy VII Remake, not knowing he was the director until it was announced in like a press release or something. Like this is like up there with like one of the greatest things just to happen.
Yeah.
And please be excited, and my body is ready. Just like gaming industry, just fucking golden nuggets.
I can't find it. It's basically along
Hold on, let me. You can't find it?
No, hold on. Oh, I typed in directory. That's why. That's my. Oh, here we go. Shinji Mikami intended Resident Evil 4 to be a GameCube exclusive, and he said he would commit Hikari if the game was ever ported to another platform. He ended up leaving Capcom after learning that the company was going to port the game to the PlayStation 2 without his approval. Since then, the game has been ported to, and just because like it's so ridiculous.
It's actually ridiculous, yeah.
They have a Resident Evil wiki page. Here we go. I'm just gonna name. There's platforms on here I've never heard of. Oh shit, where is it? Oh, here we go. Production information, game information. Nintendo GameCube, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PC, Nintendo Wii, Nintendo Wii U via the Virtual Console, Nintendo Switch, iOS, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Zeebo, and the Oculus Quest 2.
Zeebo.
Yeah, it's a Brazilian game console, and if you look at it running on it, it's not great. It's like super downscaled and like really low textures, and it's really bad. But
That's terrible.
Yeah, Resident Evil 4, Catch the Fever. That game still rules.
Cool. Number 14 for Josh. I almost said for Jawa. Number 14 for Josh is Pikmin. And I can't believe he'd pick that because
I can't believe he picked the first Pikmin.
that game is boring as hell.
No, I love Pikmin. I think Pikmin 2 is probably a better game. Some people argue Pikmin 3, just because of the multiplayer and some of the Pikmin that they introduce. Pikmin 2 is the one that really got its hooks in me, and I think I spent the most amount of time with. That's when they introduced.
I got so bored with the first Pikmin that I didn't play enough to even participate in this conversation.
Wow. Yeah, Pikmin 2 is when they introduced the rock Pikmin. And
I think I played like 2 or 3 days, like in-game days of Pikmin 1, and I was like, nah.
Yeah. No, I mean, some of the boss fights are super fun. There is like a certain level of like tension in that game that is very uncommon for Nintendo games, I think. That, you know, if you run out of days, like you lose the game. Which like I think,
interesting.
Like I think
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, like you have to like start from the beginning. I think the only other series to do something similar is like Fire Emblem with permadeath. So if you're not great at it,
which I guess now you can turn off. So
yeah. But if you're not great at Pikmin, like it can be a bad time. But it's a much deeper game than I think a lot of people give credit for. But there's also a lot of failure that comes with playing that game, that, you know, is required for you to be able to learn what to do and what not to do. And plus they're just like super cute, like the little bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
You know, good old Pikmin.
Cool. So that is his number 14. So now we are on to me again on number 13. My number 13 is, this is a big one, Super Mario World plus Super Mario All-Stars.
Ooh, good pick.
So this is the ultimate cart. This has Super Mario Brothers 1, Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario Brothers The Lost Levels, and Super Mario World, which is the real. That was going to be where this was. Number 13 was going to be Super Mario World, but then I was like, well, if we're doing carts, like this is how I had it.
That's the one to do.
Yeah, because then it also gets, you know, all those other Mario games, which, like, to be fair, Super Mario World was the one that we played the most in my house, although Super Mario 3 was a close second.
I was never much of a Mario 3 person. Not that I don't like it. It's just, it was never one that I was like, this is it. You know?
When we slept over at my aunt and uncle's house back in the day, my sister and I, that was one of the games that we would play.
Yeah.
We would play Contra. We would do the code. We would do like the Batman game on NES, and then we would play Mario 3. And that was pretty much it. And that was, you know, that was like the game. We would go back and forth playing it as Mario and Luigi and stuff.
Nice.
And then once we got a Super Nintendo, like it was off to the races with Super Mario World. But it's Super Mario World definitely the best 2D Mario game for sure. I don't think it's close.
Yeah, I was sitting here about to yell at you, and I'm like, no, I don't know that I can.
Yeah, like I mean, what other 2D Mario game is better than that?
Like I wouldn't pick a new one.
Yeah, I wouldn't pick a new one, and I wouldn't go older because I think that Super Mario World adds so much with like a bunch of secret exits, like the doors, the shortcuts, like the world map exploration, like your donut house secret, like 2 or 3 secret exits to the same house that go to different places. Like it's the addition of Yoshi, like your cape so you can fly all over the place, like a bunch of secret game rooms and stuff. It's just
Koopa
awesome.
Kids.
It's all Koopa Kids. It's really, really great. You can you can throw your shells up in the air and all sorts of stuff. Like it's really, really good. I think it's
like one of the best transitions, like from console generation to console generation, and I guess Mario 3 did it too. I haven't played enough of it to like really for it to really jump out in my mind. But like comparing Super Mario World to like Super Mario Brothers, taking those original mechanics and expanding upon them, like grabbing shells, the suits that you can get, multiplayer, things like that. It's just a much deeper game. And there's so much that you cannot see in that game.
Yes.
If you don't know where to look, which is like so cool to me. I always loved
that is such a ridiculous amount of confidence for a developer.
Yeah.
To be like, yo, we're gonna put in like a lot of stuff that you probably won't see.
Yeah.
And we're still gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like that's very impressive.
Because when you hear about it, it's that excitement of like, wait, really? Like I can.
Yeah.
You can get inside the Bowser mouth, like the in the water, or you can like get a different way out of like a Boo house or whatever. Like it's.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Wait, you can skip almost the entire game and just go straight to Bowser's Castle if you know how?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. You can get there just through getting to the first star level. Wait, star level? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
There's a star world. The secret.
Yeah.
And it's got a bunch of really weird stuff happening. It's freaking great. It's freaking great. Go ahead.
The only reason I will tell you now, I don't have that game on my list is because I've played it so many times that now when I go back and play it, I'm just like, and we've talked about this before, with like Link to the Past and like a couple other games where it's like when you've played like a Super Nintendo game so many times or like any old game, it does reach that point where it's like, what am I getting out of this experience? And sometimes it's the same thing. Not that that's a bad thing, but like.
But sometimes you get bored.
Sometimes
you want something new or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things of like, I haven't played Super Mario World in years.
Yeah.
And I haven't played Link to the Past. I haven't played Super Metroid in a long time. And I don't know that I'm gonna be going back to any of those games anytime soon.
Yeah.
But they still hold such an important place in my heart and in my gaming history that like I wouldn't be the same without them.
Sure.
And that doesn't necessarily diminish their value to me.
Yeah.
Just because they can't endlessly be revisited. Because like, how many things really can?
He's right there.
Are you saying Beja Kazooie?
He's right there.
Fuck you. Yeah. But yeah, Super Mario World plus Super Mario All-Stars is mine.
Nice.
My number 13.
Number 13 for me is Halo Master Chief Collection, just as a whole.
Hey.
The everlasting gobstopper of first-person shooters. It's also just like it's such a great way to play those games for so many reasons. Like, like you said, the blur cutscenes are one thing, but like being able to switch between Halo Anniversary and Combat Evolved, the graphics wise, the amount of support that they've poured into this game, like with, adding skins to all these really old games and, dual wide support for, ultra wide monitors and 140 or 120 hertz, bumping up all the graphics settings on everything, the mouse and keyboard support. Like, I can't play Halo with a controller now because of how well this game runs on a PC, which is like kind of a problem, but I also love the fact that I can do that. Like, and
That's really interesting because during the Halo Infinite flight, Audrey was like, "Man, how am I getting shot so quickly?" And I was like, "Well, they might be using mouse and keyboard because we can play with PC people." And she was like, "I want to try that." And she plugged a mouse and keyboard into her Xbox,
and it works, right?
And it works. It was buggy, like it only let her move like a little bit before the mouse like stopped, whatever. But it's like it's a beta flight and stuff like that. But I was like telling her like, "Do you want to try it on Steam?"
Yeah,
like something like that. So like, I haven't played Halo that way, but I'm really curious to hear. Like,
no, I mean it's the only way I play Halo now, and it's funny because like I bought the Series X like with Halo in mind because Halo for so many people or Xbox for so many people, like it is the Halo machine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm one of those people.
Yeah, like it was for me, like literally my entire life until like the last like 2 years, and now whenever I play it with a controller, it's like I'm terrible. Like I'm so bad now. But if I'm with mouse and keyboard, like I feel not only do I feel like I have a chance, but like I've played so much Destiny that like it's prepared me for this day. You know what I mean?
You feel the power?
I feel the power. Yeah, I mean the movement of Infinite on a mouse and keyboard is just like perfection. But that being said, Halo Master Chief Collection, it's just so great to be able to play a game that I grew up loving for so many years, like literally my entire youth. There was always a Halo game coming out, up until I was, in my 20s, to look forward to. And, pretty seamlessly, you can just start it up, and it's the best way to play a lot of these games. I think the only disappointment that I have with it is like the Forge integration and like custom maps. Like I feel like that support isn't as easy to use or easy to discover as it was in like Halo 3. Like we used to do all kinds of random like stuff that people would make, like Blitzball.
We did insane stuff with 3 and Reach, like just making all sorts of weird maps.
Yeah, or Griffball, not Blitzball.
Blitzball, yeah, it's FF10.
Yeah, it's FF10. But yeah, I mean it's Halo. It's all my favorite Halos. It doesn't have Halo 5, which makes it even better.
And have we talked much about Halo 4? I actually still really like Halo 4.
I actually I did start playing that again. That was when I realized like I can't play Halo on an Xbox because I was very excited to see how it ran on Series X, and then stopped caring because
and you were like,
I play like
great, but
it runs great, but I don't run great. Like I play it like dog shit, so I have to play it on PC.
Hey, that's amazing. So are you playing it on Game Pass on PC or did you buy it on Steam?
I own it on like through Xbox. Like I bought it on the Microsoft app.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I love it. It's great. Halo. Catch fever.
Good stuff. And then that was your 13, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so 13 for Josh is Kingdom Hearts. He is got to be going.
I almost did a spit take all over this monitor.
Right now?
Right now. I was like, yeah.
So he has to be trading on like nostalgia, right? Because there's no way that Kingdom Hearts 1 is better than 2 in like any meaningful way.
It has to be
other than that it was the first one.
Yeah, it has to be like the impact that game had on him. And
you think that's what he's doing with Pikmin as well?
I think so. And like how unique it was compared to everything else that had come out. Like the combination of like Final Fantasy and Disney, like these two things.
It was really unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really unique.
But like I think other than the intro of Kingdom Hearts 2, because I don't care who you are, that intro is fucking awful. And it's so long. Like,
I thought you were talking about like the song.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the first
dude, I was like, if you don't weep, you're not a human.
Yeah,
like,
no,
what are you?
I'm talking about you're in Traverse
You're talking
Town.
about Roxas in Twilight Town.
There's a bunch of people there. They're trying to get jobs. Like it's
it's not great.
They get on the train. Like it's so
the
weird.
island intro in Kingdom Hearts 1 is way better.
It's way better. Yeah, you're immediately like, wait, what? Waka's here? Like, what's happening? You're just immediately more like, okay,
Waka and
I'm
Titus
interested
are
to see where
here,
this goes.
but also Selfie from Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah.
What? Like, and also these other characters that look like they should be Final Fantasy characters, but they're not.
Yeah.
You know.
Um,
Yeah.
Now, Kingdom Hearts 1 definitely has a stronger intro for sure, but mechanically,
I think it probably has a better overall, more self-contained story as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, 2 starts to get a little, Kingdom Heartsy, for sure.
Yeah. Organization 13, but
Yeah.
you get Valor forms and all sorts of stuff like that, which is like awesome. Like,
but that's just it. Like the
awesome.
combat in that game is like it's the best that franchise, in my opinion. I didn't play 3. I watched just play 3, but like
No, it is.
It's the
Kingdom
best.
Hearts 2 is the best it ever got.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm glad we can agree on something.
You get your secret Heartless form.
Oh,
my God,
hell yeah!
So cool.
So cool. You
So
thought Goofy
cool.
died? Spoiler alert: he didn't.
He should have. He should have.
No, Donald.
You hear me? You hear me, world? He should have died.
Donald should have died.
They both should have died, and then it should have been Riku and Kairi in my party instead, which is what I wanted from the first game.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've told you about this, but me playing Kingdom Hearts 1, I saw it in the Game Crazy because I worked at Hollywood Video.
Right.
And Game Crazy was the game store that was attached to Hollywood Video. You kids don't understand that we used to have video rental stores and all that sort of shit.
I have a Blockbuster membership card. Where's my wallet?
Do you really?
I do.
But yeah, so I walked in there and I was like, wow, what is this? This is by Squaresoft? Like, I love Squaresoft. They made like Final Fantasy Tactics and like Final Fantasy and like all these sorts of games. They made Chrono Trigger. Like, what's this new thing? And it was like Disney characters and then also these 3 cool looking badass characters on the cover with a cool looking gargoyle monster. And I was like, hell yeah. And then on the back, it said, you take a group, your party of like 3 characters will go through, this, adventures through Disney worlds and original worlds and all this sort of stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. A party of 3 people. Okay. Well, I was used to Final Fantasy, which Final Fantasy 7, I was like, okay, I'll take Cloud. I'll take Tifa. I'll take, this character.
Like this
and
is
I'll leave these other
party.
I'll leave these other ones. So I looked on the cover and was like, okay, I'll take this dude with the giant key. I'll take this other dude with like a dragon wing blade, and I'll take this cute girl, and then leave Donald and Goofy, and I'll never use them.
Yeah.
Nope, they don't let you do that. They force you to have the most annoying teammates in the world, and then separate you from the interesting characters, and that's the whole point. So, really a letdown, but I still really enjoyed the combat. I thought the combat was great.
Yeah.
Which is really what I got into. That was before I got into Devil May Cry or any of those sorts of things. So that was like my first
soiree into
3D action RPG.
Yeah.
Man, maybe ever. I think that might have been before I ever played God of War as well.
Oh wow.
So that may have been like my introduction to third person, high action, fast combat, which I love,
Yeah.
And yeah, but yeah, Kingdom Hearts, like, what a fucking letdown that 3 was. but yeah, I mean, Kingdom Hearts is Josh's number 13. So
nice.
And then it is up to me on to 12. So my number 12 is Dishonored 2.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Great game. Arcane tied for first as my favorite developers in the world. Tied with another studio that we've talked about quite a bit, Supergiant. And Dishonored 2 is one of their best games. It's really difficult now that when I made this list, we were too close to Deathloop for me to really have perspective on that. I did actually think about putting Deathloop on this list, but I think that is 100% recency bias. Although I will say there are certain things that Deathloop definitively does better than Dishonored. One is the shooting. Deathloop is a very good shooter, and Dishonored is not.
Yeah.
It is not intended to be a shooter. It is intended to be played more like Thief or BioShock, which as much fun as, well, maybe not fun, but as good as BioShock is, none of those games are good shooters, really. I think BioShock 2 is probably as good as it got. as far as just like shooting mechanics and stuff. And Deathloop is definitely better than that, but the world building in Dishonored is masterful. The encounter design is so impressive. All of those places, as outlandish as they are, they feel like real places. When you go to Karnaca and you see the little bloodfly dens that have taken over people's houses, where they've just become completely infested with these blood-sucking, giant, like, cat-sized mosquitoes, which is, my worst nightmare. It's not really my worst nightmare, but that would be fucking terrible. When you go to these locations, you see these fancy people, you go to these parties, you sneak through, you go to this like wellness clinic on this island. You can go around and you do these incredible missions like a crack in the slab, and like different stuff like that. And these are just, or the Clockwork Mansion. Like Dishonored 2 has literally 2 of the best levels in video games, period, just in that one game. And a lot of the stuff, like a lot of people who played Titanfall 2 would be like, oh man, that level is like, Titanfall 2 has like 2 of the best levels, best shooter campaign in a decade at least. And I'm just like, literally Dishonored 2 took those ideas and basically did them better in a game that came out before. And it's just so much more impressive because the way that you move around that world, the way that you choose to engage, is so interesting. And you have so much control. You start the game out, you get these awesome supernatural powers, but you can just decide to not have them. You can say no to the outsider and be like, nah, I don't want your crazy cool powers. And then just play it as a human. And it's a totally different game.
Yeah.
It's freaking great. And as somebody who played through and did a complete pacifist, ghost, clean hands playthrough, like I played through that entire game and got the achievements for never being seen by anyone and never killing anyone ever. And you can do that in the game. Or you can go through and be a freaking whirling dervish of destruction and just be a bunch of swords and spells and, viscera flying all over the place if you want. And it changes the way that the world is, and it changes how people see you. It changes if you're playing. You can even choose as 2 different characters. You can have Corvo's powers or you can have Emily's powers, and they're totally different. And it's masterful. It's so stylish. It's a 10. It's a 10. Like so many of these games on my list below this point are high scores. If they're not 10s, they're 9s. Dishonored 2 is absolutely a 10. It's so good. And the only things that I would hold against it are that the shooting isn't as fluid as Deathloop, but that's not the point of Dishonored. So it's hard. It's really hard to find a fault in that game, and that's why it may seem shocking that a game that I speak that glowingly about is only number 12, but you'll see what's above this before too long. So that is Dishonored 2 is my number 12.
Nice. My number 12 is Super Mario 3D World. Hey. This game's great. If you've never played it, if you didn't play it on the Wii U, I feel bad for you, but now it's on the Switch. And now
I feel bad for you, son.
I feel bad for you, son, but now it's on the Switch, so go buy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it has some of the...
I got 99 problems, but Super Mario 3D World still being trapped on Wii U isn't one.
Yeah, it has some of the best level designs of any Mario game ever. Brian would argue ever.
I would argue ever.
Yeah, it's some of the best multiplayer you'll ever play, local or online. The fact that you can't even do it online is fucking amazing, quite frankly, because it's Nintendo.
Yeah. Nintendo has these weird bouts of like they are usually completely incompetent and don't care about this sort of shit. And then they'll do something that is completely out of left field where they'll be like, Hey, so you know that old Super Nintendo game, Super Mario World? We made it so you can play it online with friends on the Switch.
Yeah.
Just as part of your subscription.
Is that
That's
cool?
like 10 or 20 years, like $20 a year, which is like nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wait. You can't get online right, but you did modernize a game that came out in like 92.
Yeah. You did reverse engineer a game from 1996 or whatever it is.
And add multiplayer into it that works pretty well.
Yeah.
Like they have these bizarre bouts of like just absolute genius.
I will say a number of years ago, probably like 4 years ago now, and I don't know how much of this has to do with it. They were hiring a ton of DevOps and network engineers. Like positions. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but it's definitely gotten better. I think everybody just looks at Smash Brothers as the like, this is terrible, because it is.
That's like one of their biggest games.
Well, and that's what's unfortunate is like now, and now it's been out for so long, nobody's gonna revisit it, and they're just like, whatever. But anyway, all that being said, Super Mario 3D World, some of the smartest level design in any Mario game. The levels are super quick. If you do fail, it's not that big a deal. You can usually pop back in. There are very easy and well-known methods that you can use to like boost your life count or life counter.
Yeah, if you're having trouble, yeah.
Yeah, and then you just like have this like huge padding where you can just do whatever it is you need to do. Tons of secrets in that game. Hidden stars, a bunch of stuff to collect. And there's just a lot of crazy moments that can happen in that game that don't really happen. That they happen organically. They don't happen because they're staged or anything like that, which is very difficult to do. And that game has it in spades. Like it's an exorbitant amount of fun. So yeah, Super Mario 3D World for sure.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's a great one. And that is your 12?
Yep.
Okay. 12 for Josh is BioShock. I mean, a great game.
A great game that didn't make it to my list.
Yeah, didn't make it to my list either.
Yeah.
Actually, fun fact, Super Mario 3D World didn't make it to my list either, but for a very particular reason that we will get into at another time.
I am shocked. Anyway.
I know. I don't think you'll be as shocked when we talk about it.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Or you may still be shocked, but you might not be as surprised.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So BioShock, I mean, great game. One of the greatest twists.
One of the greatest
in gaming.
Yeah, one of the greatest twists and intros of any game ever, I think.
A real letdown of an ending, but everything up until that point is just aces.
Well, that's the problem with that game. The thing that game suffers from is the same thing that almost everything in the horror genre suffers from, is that idea of you're terrified of the thing that's there because you can't see it. And then once you do, a lot of that fear is alleviated because you go, okay, at least I know what the thing chasing me looks like. And then the movie or whatever it is will end.
Yeah, a lot of these play on fear of the unknown, and when something is not unknown, it's not as scary.
Yeah. BioShock, I think, is that. And also the story kind of, for me at least, falls apart a little bit after the twist. It's like you have that holy shit moment, and then that's the moment. And then you have 6 more hours of gameplay to go or whatever it is.
Yeah, which is pretty middling.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, fantastic. A great example of environmental storytelling.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that you pick up on just from paying attention to your environment. And you can blaze through the game and not really notice that sort of stuff if if you've got kind of blinders on, or if you're just very focused on where's the next shiny thing. You might not be, but if you stop and you look around and you observe this as if this was a place that you were walking into and thinking, wait, why is this way? You will figure out a lot of very bizarre, very disturbing things. And it's really spectacular. It's very well done.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know why it's on Josh's list at this position, but he can tell us all about that when he edits his section into the show.
There you go.
So then that was all of our 12s, right? So now it's just 11.
Now it's just 11.
Now it's just 11. Just one more. My 11 is Hades. So we talked about my two favorite game developers, Arcane and Supergiant, and this is, in my opinion, Supergiant at their peak. It is their latest game. I have said before on the show, I think that Supergiant just keeps getting better. Every game that they make I enjoy more than the one that they made previously. They started with Bastion, which was a great, isometric, action game, like action RPG. Really interesting wrinkles in storytelling and gameplay. Then they did Transistor, which I think has a much more interesting story, more satisfying strategic combat, and like a way cooler world. Then they did Pyre, which I think from a gameplay standpoint is only second to Hades in how much fun it is. And I feel like the world is even more interesting. I still feel like Pyre, because Hades is taken from mythology. I don't. It's intrinsically not as creative because they didn't create this world from whole cloth. But I think Pyre is the only area in which I think Pyre and Hades are almost the same for me, but I had to put some Supergiant representation on this list. Did somebody say something?
MumJum02 in the chat says Brian has 2 games where you play as a prince in hell.
Where you play as a prince? Oh yeah, Disgaea. Disgaea and Hades. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Well, I got to type, I guess. But yeah, but Hades is it's absolutely beautiful. The moment-to-moment gameplay is just untouchable. I played it so much I gave myself RSI.
Yeah.
Like I literally had to stop playing the game and many other games.
Yeah, you were down for like a month at least.
Yeah.
It was a while.
Yeah. And it was because I was playing this game so much because it was so good I couldn't stop.
I'm purposely waiting to play this game until after the wedding. Because I have 10 days off.
Because you want to have your hands ready?
I want to have my hands. No, I want to make sure. Honestly, I don't want to get into anything that I think is going to be too addictive.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to be like, oh, I'm home. Oh, I have an hour. I'm going to,
Where are you going to play it? Are you going to...
Series X.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's on Game Pass. It's already...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I forgot about that, actually. Yeah.
Installed and everything. As long as they don't take it down, because then I'll be very upset. Not that I played it for like a half hour and went, oh...
Yeah, it's amazing.
No.
It is amazing. It's so good.
Yeah.
And it's so fantastic because like you remember when I got my early access code on Epic Games
I do.
For that game. Like if I recall correctly, I raved about this game.
Yeah, and we were like okay. I'll believe it when I see it. And
so
all these years later and I still haven't
and then when it finally came out and it got did it get IGN's Game of the Year? It definitely got my Game of the Year that year.
It also got Jeff Keighley's Game of the Year. Or no, it didn't.
Yeah.
Last of Us got Game of the Year. At Jeff Keighley.
Yeah.
I think IGN did give a Game of the Year though. Yeah,
I mean, totally worthy. Like this is the definition of a 10.
Yeah.
Like there is nothing wrong with this game.
Yeah.
Other than it is so good that I literally injured myself playing it.
Yeah.
And it's the only game that I've done that with.
Yeah.
Like it's the only game ever that my body was like, you have to stop.
I did that with Guitar Hero back in the day.
Yeah. But Hades is just immaculate. The storytelling is fantastic. The voice acting is fantastic. The gameplay is fantastic. The build variety is fantastic. You can modify your difficulty at your leisure and get upgrade materials. You can just roll credits. You can just escape hell once and then just call it quits. You can keep playing after you roll credits and do a bunch of more stuff, which I have not done because reasons of my hands. But it is just so impressive. What has been done with a very simple premise. You are the son of Hades, and you have to get your way out of hell and the underworld to find your mother and find out why she left. So simple, but the people that you meet during it, the impacts you have on their lives and that they have on yours, and the relationships that actually build and iterate every time you fail. Every time you die and fail, it's part of the story. And that, like, it is the only roguelike that I truly love. And I've played other ones. Like I've played, Deathloop is in its own way kind of like that. And I think that Deathloop, if it even is counted in that category, would be probably second to this. But I don't think that third-person isometric action has been done better than this. I don't think that roguelikes have been done better than this. I don't think that art and character design has been done better than this by almost anyone ever. It is so good in so many different ways. And even the early access build, when you got done with the section that was finished, they had dialogue and text that poked fun both at the player and at the character at the same time. Like the writing is so brilliant. And it's I could just keep going on, but I need to stop because we got other games to talk about. But that is why Hades is my number 11.
Well, goddamn. My number 11 is Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh! I can't believe you put that above 3D World.
It's the only reason I did was to piss you off.
You are a monster.
I know.
Now, real talk. Do you still believe that Odyssey is better than 3D World?
I think objectively,
or did you literally just put it there?
So I'll put it to you this way. I think objectively, 3D World is the better game. Okay. I just like Odyssey more. Like
I will accept that.
Like for what I look for in a Mario game, like Mario Odyssey is it. Like I've been playing.
Your answer pleases and satisfies me. So let's continue.
No, I've been playing the Super Mario Galaxy. It's the Switch version. I need to go back and now that I have the emulators, try the original Wii ones and see how they fare.
On the emulator, can you use that with the motion sensor and stuff?
Yes, you have to have a sensor bar, which I ordered a USB one.
Okay.
So that just plugs into the computer, and then you have to sync the Wiimote to it. It's like a whole thing, but you can do it. And then it'll upscale, 1080p and all that.
Oh yeah,
or 4K or whatever. That being said, Super Mario Odyssey is the perfect blend of like what I love about open Mario games and Banjo-Kazooie. Like it is probably the closest that I will get to a Banjo 3 ever, I think.
Maybe that's why I didn't like it.
Yeah. The collecting of, coins, be it music notes if you want to compare, getting moons everywhere, jiggies, the ability to take over, well, in Mario Odyssey, take over, different characters and enemies and things like that, and each one being so unique in how they control.
Like a evil revenant?
Yeah, with your hypnotic
ghost hat?
Yeah. No, I think some of the level design in that game, like that game is the way that I've always described it is like they somehow manufactured joy, put it on a cartridge, and sold it to me for $60. Like, when you're playing Super Mario Odyssey and you're not in like the collectathon mode and you're just like experiencing it for what it is, like you can't not be smiling from ear to ear throughout the entire experience. There's so many like funny little moments that just happen in the way that you interact with the world or the enemies. and the way that you can discover moons without like by accident. Like some of them are just kind of laying around, and it's like, all right, what are we doing? And then there are others where you'll
barely
have
hit this at all.
Yeah,
it's like the Easter egg in the middle of the yard.
yeah. But you'll have those moments where like you think about something, you're like, I wonder if I do this, like, is something gonna happen? And then it does, and it's like, oh my god, like that, and it feels so rewarding whenever you discover that. And I think so few games manage to capture that feeling where, like you'll look at something, it'll pique your curiosity, and then you're rewarded for that curiosity. A lot of games, games that I really genuinely love are very linear, and you're just experiencing it for what it is, from start to finish. Mario Odyssey being as open as it is, and forgiving in the sense that you don't have to do everything. Like you can do as much as you want. And then if you're going to be like the more experienced challenge, a player looking for a challenge, those moments are there. You just have to seek them out, or you have to earn them, really. And when you get to dark and darker side of the moon, and you do all the boss battles, and you can only take 3 hits and things like that, like getting everything in that game was so rewarding. And even talking about it right now, I'm actually thinking, like, do I want to go back, go back and start playing it again? Because it's just, it was exactly what I wanted a 3D Mario to be, and we hadn't had one in so long. Like, that was that way. Or maybe ever. Like, Super Mario Sunshine in 64 and Galaxy, you would always pick the star that you were going for, and the level would change depending upon what it was you were doing. Odyssey was you would pick the level, and like the world is your sandbox, have at it. So it was very unique in that way. But I think it takes a lot of the concepts that are introduced in Banjo-Kazooie, and then it modernizes them to make, to make it more accessible and just more fun. In the year 2021 of our Lord, or whenever that game came out, 2017.
Yeah.
So yeah, number 11. But now that I talk about it more, it probably should have been higher, because like I fucking love Mario Odyssey.
I think we were both very glowing with our number 11s.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah.
It's a great
Makes
game.
sense.
Great game.
Yeah. And then Josh's number 11 is Halo 2.
Fuck that game.
So,
just kidding.
That's like that. Halo 2 is represented. It's crazy that Halo fell on each of our lists in the 11 to 15.
Yeah.
Because like Reach was both of our 15s.
Didn't you have Halo 2 last week? Or we talked about Halo 2 at some point last week.
We did talk about Halo 2.
Because
last week. No, last week was Borderlands 2, Portal 2, World of Warcraft, Continuum Shift, BlazBlue, and Diablo 3.
Huh, okay. We talked about it somehow. I don't remember why, but
I wonder if that was because we were talking about the Halo Infinite flight that we mentioned. That
maybe. I just remember doing they fled as we set fire to our planet, and I followed with all the ships in my command.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. But yeah, so I imagine that Josh will have either already plugged in his discussion, or he'll be doing it right here. But yeah, that's it. That's 11 through 15. Lord willing, next week we will have a special guest on when we will be talking about our 10th favorite games of all time up through number 6. And then it will be episode 200, and we'll each be doing our top 5. And we are currently set to have another guest for that episode, which I'm really, really, really looking forward to. I'm very excited for both of these episodes as we continue our march towards episode 200. Man, do you have any closing thoughts?
I don't think I do. I hope everyone, if you're picking up Metroid, I hope it's good. I hope you all like it. If you're picking up Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl on the PS5 and you would like to play this week, let me know.
Oh my god, I didn't think about the fact that Metroid Dread is coming out this week, and if it is everything I want it to be, I would actually have to change my list.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, we'll see.
We'll see how strong the hooks are.
We will indeed.
Yeah.
We will indeed. Yeah. Shall we wrap?
Let's wrap.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen and people of all kinds, we thank you so much for joining us for episode 198. Can you believe it is 198 episodes?
No, I can't. I've talked to you for how many hundreds of hours at this point?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. I wonder how, if I compared these conversations with like members of my family, like,
have
or
we
like,
talked more? I bet you we have.
Have we talked more than I have with people that I've been friends for far longer?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Which is pretty wild to think about.
It is pretty wild. And I will also say, if it had to be with somebody, I'm glad it's with you, buddy.
Right back at you.
Yeah, this has been episode 198. If you have thoughts or topics or feedback or anything like that you want to share, please do. We love hearing from you. Whether it's in Twitch chat here as we're streaming, or on social media, or things like this, please hit us up. You can find all of us corporately at PlatformersPod on Twitter and at youtube.com/PlatformersPod, and also twitch.tv/PlatformersPod. You can find me individually at Ribnax, RIBNAX, on Twitter and Instagram, although I don't really check Instagram that often. And you can check out my band, Long Live the Lights, on Spotify. Our new single, Sirens, is up there. It's a really good song. And also, if you're checking that out on Spotify, I recommend you listen to Voice of Virtue as well, which is one of my favorites. It's very, very good. And it's very fun to play on the drums, and the version that I play on the drums is way spicier, and I can't wait for all of you to hear it. So that is me. Chris, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at Shrives93 on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever. I'm that on everything.
Yeah.
And
cool.
again, yeah, if you're picking up Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl this week, hit me up on Twitter, and we will try and coordinate a time where we can all play together. I don't know. I know I can't on Saturday because we're doing Until Dawn like all day. A bunch of my friends and I. So, but.
And where did you say you were getting Nickelodeon?
PS5.
Okay.
The PlayStation 5. And pro tip, if you are getting it, the online trophies are the ones that you want to go for first, because they have to do with you beating people that are ranked. And if people start to outrank you too quickly, you will never get them. So as soon as you pick up that game, just start playing ranked and then get them.
Cool. Will do. Yeah, that's really cool. If Josh was here, I'm sure he would say you can find him at the Jawa Josh on Twitter and on youtube.com/mediaismythic.
But he doesn't tweet that much.
But he doesn't tweet that much. Please review us on your podcast platform of choice. And if you have a good time with the show, tell friends and family about it. And you know what? Tell strangers about it. Who cares? Life is short. Tell everybody. From everybody at the Platformers, we hope you have a wonderful week. And stay safe out there, everyone. Because until next time, we are out.